bienvenidos a DEUCES WILD, motherfuckers!
What up there? What up there, Pinky in the brain?
Bro, so you have to understand, I'm not sure if you saw this.
I'm looking right at it. You had to get a T-shirt made of the picture, and I keep telling you to change your picture. Now you got a T-shirt made. Unbelievable.
Jason and Battleborn Mike are the two that are responsible
those two idiots did it
for the T-shirt that they just sent and arrived today.
Oh my God, Battleborn, you're in trouble. You better watch your ass at the ranch.
There's a lot of things we could call whatever that is on your upper lip. I mean, the dirt squirrel, the furry Murray.
Yeah, I mean, you know, you're the mustache naming guru, but I told you, anytime I got a mustache like that, that means I lost a bet. So something had to happen.
This is fantastic lip lettuce, though, dude. I mean, there's just not much out there that's going to rival this.
I love it. I love it.
Oh, wow.
What a freaking beauty right there. I love it.
So a couple other things. So you and I know that my tech through the course of the years out here in the greater Lake Tahoe area, whether it's been the internet, whether it's been fucking the computer, the iPad, the AirPod, like I've spent years trying to get this shit right. And so I did what any podcaster who actually gives a shit would do. And at some point, look, I'm always about the content first, but I care less about the setup and I'm more about the substance, right? Like from baseball perspective, it's like, I don't give a shit how you look. I care what you're doing. Exactly. That's always mattered to me.
Exactly. So, yeah.
But I do understand that there's a lot of people out there that not only watch on No Filter Network, but they go ahead and they consume the content on Apple, Spotify, yada, 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 goes on and on and on. So I went to, I want to say Circuit City, but it was fucking Best Buy. So I go to Best Buy and I find one of these Best Buy, I don't call them geeks, but these guys are just walking around.
Yeah.
And I told them what we do. I told him we stream. Yeah, whatever. Well, he sent me in a direction of something that would simplify matters. And with it, I end up getting it. I have no idea if it's going to work. I come home, grind away, plug it in, and start playing with it a little bit. And then all of a sudden, I realize that I got some DJ noises that I could trust.
Hell?
Bro, I'm not done yet.
In case I want to say fuck, I can go ahead and change my voice like this and say fuck. This is incredible. But wait, there's more.
Hello.
Hello. Oh, man. Hey, that is so you to make all that shit up like that.
Bro, I don't even know how to turn this back.
I can't even understand what the fuck you're saying right there.
Not a lot of people can.
Oh my God. Jesus. Now we gotta deal, ladies and gentlemen, with Jason from Friday the 13th.
Yo, hold on. Listen, I think my voice is stuck like this. Fuck.
Oh my God. Oh.
This isn't a joke. We're gonna find a way to get it out.
Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to my world in dealing with the kid himself.
I'm back.
Oh, unbelievable.
How good is that, man?
Dude, that was freaking hilarious. When you started messing around, I was like, oh, that's cool shit.
Do people in the audience, are they hearing that? Is it the same thing?
Oh, hell yeah. They're writing in there on there. They think you're an idiot, which you are, but, they're writing in. So.
Yeah, but I'm their idiot.
Oh, yeah. Hey. Oh, and by the way, since you're dealing with your Pinky in the Brain and your Will of Thrill t-shirt, here is the autism giveaway hat for this year. So that was kind of the thrill hat. So I'm representing the autism community right here.
I didn't get one of those.
God, well, maybe you snuck in. You didn't present your ticket or something.
Yeah, that's a very good point. We did sneak in because we came in early.
Yep. So anyway, so don't worry. I think some sort of way or another you have connections. So
All right. Thrill. Let's talk Giants, man. They're off. They're cranking. They're in Baltimore right now. Now this is a team. Let's not take this the wrong way. They've been eliminated essentially, right? Like
yeah.
mathematically, they're not eliminated already. They're basically at the end of the rope here. 10-0 over the Baltimore Orioles right now in Baltimore. What's happening in this one?
So they scored a few runs early. Nice job by the guys, and got up 4-0, and then it was 4-0. Blake Snell went 6 innings, punched out 12, and they got into the 9th inning right here, and they were facing Craig Kimbrell, the old closer for the Braves and a few other teams, and he just gave up a 6 spot. We had all kinds of. We had a squeeze bunt. We had a few base hits with runners in scoring position. Yay! About time. And all of a sudden you look up, you bunch all the stuff together. We put a 6 spot on the board. So now it's 10-0 going into the bottom of the 9th. And we have Tristan Beck on the mound, recovering from aneurysm surgery on his right throwing arm. And so we'll see if Tristan can't go 1, 2, 3 and finish this one off.
Wow. So it's good to have Beck back. Snell was
Snell was dominant. It was men against boys. I watched a little bit of it before, I started getting ready for the podcast. The one thing that I wanted to tell you is, and we even kind of talked about it over the course of the year, was the Giants were like Jekyll and Hyde. You never kind of knew what you would get. We never really got into that freaking streak where you just ran off and ran away with some stuff. And perfect example was this last week. They lost the last game to Milwaukee. They got shut out. Then they lost the first 2 to the Padres. They got shut out. And Bob Melvin called a team meeting and basically came out in the press and said unacceptable play. But I know that when he was in the clubhouse, there was probably a lot of ass chewing, if I had to guess, with Bob. And the Giants since then have scored a few runs. They dropped a 10 spot tonight. So, needless to say, it's a little on the late side, but Bob still has a lot of pride in the way that we go out there, we play the game, stuff like that. And there was a lot of stuff that was going on that was very unacceptable. Cutoffs and relays, people in the wrong spot, guys who have been playing in the middle of the diamond their whole lives and don't know where to go on a cutoff and relay. Come on, man. That cannot happen on a major league level. So, stuff like that. So Bob was definitely well within his right to chew some ass, and it needs to happen more.
I agree with you. It does need to happen more. I think this generation has gotten soft. I think we provide so many different support systems that it's kind of like when you give your kids everything and you do everything for your kids, then all of a sudden they can't do shit for themselves. And I say that in the sense from a baseball perspective is that you got this hitting coach and that hitting coach and this guy and that guy and the mental performance guy. And you're dealing with this and that. And you're just like, you're fucking overloading them with a lot, right? And they become kind of robotic and they go through the motions and it's da 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 da. Well, at some point, there needs to be some accountability on the player standpoint. It's like, look, we're providing everything, all these different resources for you guys to go out there and be fucking great. And if you're not going to figure out how to take advantage of that, we're going to get somebody fucking in here who will.
Hey, look, you and I talked about it. It was, when you took the field with the A's or you took the field with the Diamondbacks, after they won the series, you run out there after you've had a lot of success in an organization and you represent that organization on your chest in the way that the guys played before you, in the way that you're supposed to be playing. And, for the Giants, to have, hopefully not, but maybe 3 years in a row of losing baseball, that's unacceptable for the history of this franchise. So they need to pick it up for next year for sure.
So, Thrill West is in the chat.
Yep.
And he asked a question that a lot of people are going to ask. And that is, should the Giants get rid of Farhan? And I'm gonna before I don't expect you necessarily to directly answer this question.
Yeah, no, I mean he's my boss, so I can't
Yeah.
get after him a little bit, but you can talk all you want.
Well, I don't know the inner workings. It's like I just heard, as everybody else did, because there were several articles written about this, Buster Posey actually stepped in and was the one who did the deal with Matt Chapman. Now,
Really? Yeah. I didn't hear that. You guys are on social media more, so y'all are seeing that. That's the kind of the first I'm hearing of that.
Okay, well, if that was the case, I don't think this is a knock on Farhan. I actually think this is a great thing for the organization because ultimately, in my opinion, it's about how can we put the Giants in the best position to succeed going forward. And if that involves Buster using his player relations to go down and get a deal done that otherwise would not have gotten done, then look, man, we have to have that. Like, use that to your advantage. And I think the Giants did. And Farhan has to be able to step aside and say, yo, I'm good with this. What does it matter to me? Like, this is a great deal. Yes, I do know from watching Giants baseball this season, from watching Matt Chapman his entire career, for the season that he's had and what he means to this team. Dude, he's the rock amongst a lot of these players, whether it's Ramos or Fitzgerald coming up. I need that dude there. And Buster, he knows it because he's been that guy and he's been that rock. And he knows that the Giants fucking needed him. Well, goes to Matt Chapman directly. He goes to Boris. I want to get a deal done. Okay, let's do it. They knock it out. And I say kudos. Kudos to Farhan.
Yeah, no, you and I had talked about this, last week and before that was, as of right now, Chapman was the stud on this team. He ran out there every day. He played hurt. He did it all. He had he's got a pretty solid year going, 20-something jacks, and, kind of stayed in the middle of the lineup the whole time. And, in the meantime, to put it bluntly, I mean, his supporting cast didn't really help him out too much. And, he is the man right now in San Francisco that, everybody can relate to. And so, to get him locked up, I think was a huge deal. We talked about it last week. You need to have your stud locked up. He is locked up now. Now, the pieces around him, now it's time for you guys to step up. Now it's time for you guys to become another Matt Chapman. And, oh, by the way, in case you idiots didn't see it, this is what happens when you go out there and you bust your ass. You play every day. You do your job. You do your job to the utmost ability. The fans buy into the program. The fans love it. All of a sudden, you get a $150 million contract. Maybe it would behoove some of you other people out there to step up your fucking game and become a man and quit being one of those people in the fucking middle of the road.
Yeah.
Because if you're in the middle of the road, guess what happens? You get your shit run over.
Yeah, dude, bro, the thing about Matt Chapman that makes him so special is that he can struggle offensively, and you're going to deal with it because of how good of a defensive third baseman he is.
But that's the thing. And you and I have talked about this. You are a freaking great outfielder. I was a pretty solid first baseman. You're going to have 0 for 4s. You cannot have 0 for 4s playing defense. And that's why Bob Melvin, went off on these guys. Dude, we cannot screw up cutoffs and relays on a major league team. That's something that you do in the minor leagues, when you're first or second year player. You don't do that in the major leagues. When you get to the major leagues, you ought to know exactly where the shit you're going at all times.
Dude, I actually expected cutoffs and relays to be perfectly executed on my 12U team. Like, it's basic fundamental baseball, correct?
Yep. You got that right. Put it this way. That's the one thing that I learned in high school and college was I had two great coaches that preached, when the ball goes here, where do you go? When the ball goes here, where do you go? And it wasn't just you paying attention to your position. It was you paying attention to everybody's position. So guess what? While the play's going on, you can freaking direct traffic. So that happened a lot. It's a lot of communication. But anyway, we're kind of beating a dead horse there. Hey,
we are. Hold on, Earl, before we go further, let's not forget our title sponsor.
Not forget our freaking title sponsor. Oh, yeah.
Bet Online, the world's most trusted betting platform and your number one source of everything, baseball, football, basketball, whatever. Bet Online has every stat, every matchup, and even live odds and spreads to bet on during the games. Think you know your stuff? Get in on our $200,000 mega contest and pick 5 games against the spread every week for your chance at weekly prizes and a share of the $200,000. When the game's over, go on over to the casino, the online casino, get in on a game of blackjack or poker, or unwind with one of our over 150 slot games. Head to the website today to get in on the action. Bet Online. The game starts here. You know where else the game starts? When they play their home games, Oracle Park. And there was something that happened.
Oh, yeah. We were going to go that direction.
Something that happened at Oracle Park, Thrill, that's never happened before in the 24-year history of the ballpark. What was it?
AT&T, Pacific Bell, Oracle Park. First time in 24 years, a right-handed hitter went, as perfectly said by my co-host, Apo Taco, into McCovey Cove. First time it's ever happened in a game. Elliot Ramos, tip of the cap to you. Congratulations, big man, for going, there it is, the Apo Taco. And there was a little controversy in there where one of the kayakers out there got the ball, and I don't know, the social media is taking off on it. But hey, look, my big thing is get the ball back, give the guy, a bat, a ball, or whatever, not your firstborn, but give the guy a ball. And, this is the first time it's ever happened in 24 years. And whether you give it to the Giants, whether you give it to the Hall of Fame, whether you give it to Ramos, whatever, I mean, come on, give up the ball and be a Giants fan. And look, I'm there to support the guys in the kayaks because, man, they're out there having fun. They're cutting up, and they're part of the allure of McCovey Cove. But look at it in the big picture of things, and hey, give up the ball.
So McCovey Cove Dave is the guy that got the ball. McCovey Cove Dave and I have been friends for a long time. He actually retrieves the golf balls out of the ponds and lakes at the Half Moon Bay golf course. I'm not sure if he's actually gone into the ocean ever to try to get them, but he certainly does all of the lakes. He's a great guy, diehard Giants fan, and apparently negotiations between him and the Giants, though, broke down. And McCovey Cove's Dave said, look, I'm going to keep the ball. I'll share it with the Hall of Fame if the Hall of Fame wants it. But I will say this. Yes, I would love for the ball to be portrayed somewhere where we could celebrate Ramos's accomplishment. But I will also tell you this. McCovey Cove Dave has been in the fucking bay on those cold-ass nights for the past 24 years. So if McCovey Cove Dave wants to keep the ball in his living room, if he wants to take the ball and give it to the Hall of Fame, if he wants to go ahead and shit on the ball on a nightly basis. I don't give a fuck. McCovey Cove Dave could do whatever McCovey Cove Dave wants to do.
There you go. All right. Well,
That's my
Dave,
take on it.
look, Eric's one of your big supporters. I've seen you out there for years and years and years. Look, it's it's kind of a big deal to the organization. You guys can work out a deal. Just work with them and cut a deal. Put it this way, if it takes that, Dave, I'll fucking sign a bat for you and you can give it to him. I don't care.
Dude, I think Dave certainly would love that. I know that. I'm sure Dave probably would.
Dave, here's a piece of lumber right here for you. Whack.
This goes back to the Dodgers thing though, man. Earlier in the year, one of the fans, I think it was Ohtani's first home or whatever, but the fan that caught it kind of got whisked away. They said somewhat bullied into giving the ball back to the Dodgers. And it was the fans like, I don't know, like I went home with like this really like not great feeling. Like, wow, did I just get bullied? And sure enough, it became a media shitstorm.
Yep.
And so now the Dodgers basically threatened to not authenticate it if that fan had left, if they didn't give the ball back. Now, here's something funny, Thrill. I was at the Coliseum.
That's typical of the Dodgers, y'all piece of shit.
Oh, it sounded like, man. So I was at the Coliseum the other day, and Clay, the grounds crew guy over there, does a terrific job. The Coliseum grass and infield dirt, it's still one of the best in the big leagues. That's what outside fans don't know and realize, understand, is that Clay has just done a fucking unbelievable job. Well, he gives me some dirt from the Coliseum, right from the home plate area.
Yeah.
He packages some dirt, and then he gives it to me. And all of a sudden, like a minute later, I got a guy like, yo, man, Eric, such and such, MLB Authenticator. Would you like it authenticated? I go, yeah, sure. He goes, okay, cool. He goes, only thing is you can't open it up. I said, okay. So he takes the sticker, steals it, authenticates it. So it's a authentic. Do I really give a shit? I don't. But I thought it was cool.
There's a lot of people that take some of that stuff with them, and like people wanted some remains of candlestick and stuff like that. And for me personally, it's like there were other more tangible things that I paid attention to. So
I have 2 candlestick seats right here.
Yes, you do, and I have 6 candlestick seats. My buddy Josh in the chat room, he gave me a pair, and then the Giants actually gave me 2 pair. So two of them at the ranch, and then Josh's is here at the house. So, and while we're talking about Oakland athletics, let me show you this. So, one of our dudes on the thing said, "Look at EB."
Oh yeah.
Oh yeah. EB, final day in the Oakland Coliseum. So, because of that reason, and because you are featuring my jersey, or not my jersey, my freaking likeness with the what did you call it? Lettuce?
Lip lettuce.
Lip lettuce. So here we go.
I love it.
Oh yeah. So in honor of our co-host, ladies and gentlemen, here is a true Oakland A's, and watch. Look, we got the right.
That's so badass, man.
We got the right lettering on the jersey. Can you believe it?
The only thing better would be
lettering
is if on the arm sleeve there was a picture of you with this mustache. Like I think I'm going to custom do a jersey. A's jersey, Byrnes jersey, and then this picture of you.
There you go. That's what we need right there.
Battleborn Mike can pull that one off.
Yeah, no. Oh, and don't think Battleborn didn't bail his way out of there. He said it was Jason that did it, not him. So he's pawning it off on somebody else.
Jason, I did get the package from Jason. I always combine the two. I mean, maybe it's not fair, the brothers or whatever.
Yeah, you know how brothers are. They got beat on one another.
Hey, Drill.
Oh, and by the way, Josh Turow, if you would be a longtime viewer of this podcast, you would have seen me in this A's jersey with Eric Byrnes earlier this year.
Yeah, I don't know if it was earlier this year. It definitely was maybe last year. There was some point you busted this out. You've worn it once or twice.
Yeah, it had something to do with DEUCES WILD, and Trey was talking about jerseys and said, Dad, here's an Eric Byrnes jersey. And I was like, oh, and I grabbed a hold of it as soon as I could. So
fuck yeah, Trey. That's why you're my dude.
yeah, he is.
Thrill, Luis Arraez, the strikeout streak came to an end after 140 plate appearances.
Who got him?
Finally struck out.
Who got him?
140. I have the story right here. This just happened recently. Arraez's outstanding no strikeout streak ends. This is what I love about it. Ready? Luis Arraez's remarkable streak is over. The Padres' contact king struck out for the first time since August 10th in the second inning of San Diego's 3-1 victory over the Astros on Monday night at Petco Park. This was this last night. Houston right-hander Spencer Arrighetti won a 9-pitch battle by getting Arraez to swing and miss at a 3-2 curveball. Arraez had gone 141 plate appearances without a strikeout. According to Elias, it was the longest streak since Juan Pierre reached 147 during the 2004 season. Arraez tied Tony Gwynn for the second longest such streak in Padres history. Only Gwynn's run of 170 straight plate appearances in 1995 was longer. Quote, I strike out, and I said, I've got 2 more at-bats, Arraez said afterwards. Let's see what happens. Undeterred, Arraez responded with hits in his final 2 at-bats, though he appeared to injure his right knee in the 5th inning while sliding home plate after hobbling into second base on the 7th inning double. Arraez was lifted for a pinch runner. So, who gives a shit? Man, what a fucking run. 141 plate appearances. So they have the longest plate appearances streaks without a strikeout since the expansion era that started in 1961. Here they are, Thrill. Tony Gwynn, 170. Greg Gross, 173. Ready for this one? Bill Buckner, 184. That was with the 1972 Dodgers. Nellie Fox, 185, the 1962 White Sox. And this one right here gets me. Because I got to be honest, I don't really know who he is. Dave Cash, 200.
You don't know who Dave Cash is?
No, 223 with the 1976 Phillies. This was right before my time.
Yeah.
I mean, I've heard the name, obviously, but it's not like, oh, Dave Cash.
Yeah, no. So Dave Cash was an everyday player. He was in the generation before me. He was in the 60s and 70s. So.
Yeah, so that's probably you grew up. Dave Cash career. He was drafted in 1966 by the Pirates, round 5 overall pick, 95. He played for Pittsburgh, Philadelphia, and Montreal. Career 283 average, 120 stolen bases, which is fantastic. 21 career homers, 692.
In other words, he was a guy. Yeah, in other words, he was the guy that put the ball in play, and then he had some speed, so he ran a little bit.
Yeah, Dave Cash.
Hey, while we're on this subject, you got Tony Gwynn on there, and he's got 2 of the top ones. The one that kind of is surprising that I did not know until you went through that list is Buckner. Believe it or not, I know. Bill Buckner was always a good hitter. But he was also known for a little bit of power here and there. And you don't see guys, that are good hitters with power that, don't ever strike out. But that just shows you what kind of, Buckner's known for, needless to say, the ball going through his legs. But he was a great hitter on top of that.
Isn't that bullshit?
Yeah, it's big time bullshit,
man.
I
when he passed away a few years back, it didn't sit right. It just didn't, and
I'm with you.
I
was a Buckner fan growing up, and I met Bill a few times, and the abuse he got, after the 85, 86, whatever that year was unbelievable.
Well, moving on here, and we'll double sky point Bill Buckner, a badass who.
Oh,
unfairly
before we move on, all right? And
Yeah.
it just so happens because Seattle's in the background right now. What was the deal with the dude? You sent it to me. He like, what happened? The pitcher was throwing the ball and he stepped out the batter's box like 3 times in a row, right?
So hold tight, Thrill, because
Right.
I think
Okay.
this was one of the most badass things that I've ever seen on a baseball field. I would never, ever, ever, ever in a million years have the confidence to be able to pull this off. Like, it's just unbelievable. It's Randy Arozarena, who he
Okay.
steps out for the first time.
Come a little bit this way. Other way. Other way.
That way.
That way. There you go. Right there. Right there. Right there. All right.
Oh,
so
so he steps out again. That's the second time. They're two
steps out.
nasty sliders.
He steps out the second time. All right. So here comes the next pitch. Let's see what he does. Yeah, it's a 2-0 pitch right here.
Oh, yeah.
Right,
This is a fastball down.
So now it's 3. Now it's 3-0, right?
So it's 3-0. And the pitcher's like, what the fuck, man? Obviously, this
Yeah,
guy's
why
just
are you backing out the batter's box? Why what are you scared? And all that sort of stuff. And then here comes the old 3-0 pitch. Oh, whack-a-tacky! Off the facing of the third deck in Seattle. And look at him. Now he's beating on his chest and all that sort of stuff.
Holy shit, though, Thrill. I've never seen anything like that, man.
Hey, I've taken some pitches where it's like, all right, I'm just gonna stand here and take it. I didn't back out the batter's box, all right? Because the first is if you're up there, right, and you're in the batter's box and you're taking a pitch, you want to see the ball the whole way. It's like, all right, I know that was a ball, or yeah, I know that was a strike. He just backed out the batter's box, just like I know it was almost like he knew. All right, breaking ball's coming. All right, another breaking ball's coming. Then he goes, all right, 2-0. He's not gonna throw me a strike here. I'll back out again. But 3-0, I'm going to try to whack-a-tacky something.
Okay, so I have a few questions for you about this. Number one, I totally agree. Like, if I'm taking, I know I'm taking. I'm still going to take like I'm actually swinging because I don't want the pitcher to know that I'm taking. From there, I would say when you step out like that, like there's the quote-unquote unwritten rules of baseball, it's kind of like wiggling the bat on a bunt.
Yeah.
Where you're like, dude, what the fuck are you doing, man?
Yeah.
Now, if we watched and we have Randy Arozarena play through the course of his career, long time with Tampa, now here he is with Seattle. Dude, this is a guy, when he got traded from Tampa, he actually, I think they were in Toronto or somewhere. But the next night, he went into the stands to watch the game. Like, just, this guy does shit that I've never seen anyone do on a baseball field. He reminds me a lot of Adrian Beltre, where you'll watch him do some things, and he's goofy, and he's fun-loving, and he smiles. And so, if it's anybody else, I'd be like, what a fucking prick. But because it's the Arozarena, I watch him do this. I go, well, that's just Randy.
That's just
and
Randy.
I kind of love him for it.
I get it.
Well,
So,
yeah. Okay, if you're on you're the opposing manager though. His own team, when he came in, they weren't as excited as I thought they would be, and I think it was, I don't know if it was Jonah Heim or somebody from the Rangers was talking shit when he came across home.
I get you.
And he's like,
I bet they
yo,
were.
yeah, I think I would be, if I was on the other side of that and I'm the catcher, I'd be like, fuck you, dude.
Yeah.
You're not that good, and this game's not that easy. You want to do that shit and your name's Barry Bonds? Yeah. That's fine. So I see the multiple perspectives.
But here's another thing. Here's another thing too. I mean, so you even brought it up. It's like somebody that squares around a bunt and like wiggles the bat and all that sort of shit, right? I mean, that shit didn't happen back in the day, because the first time that happened, boom, somebody got drilled.
Yeah.
It's like, hey, you want to get on first base that bad? Here, get on first base. So, that's one of them things. But whatever.
Hey, so I'm also looking at Seattle here, Thrill,
Yeah,
and
I
I
saw
had an
what
opportunity.
Judge hit a double down the line or a single down the line. So
So check this out. I got a call today by a guy by the name of Brett Boone.
oh, our buddy.
Yeah. So
Yeah,
Booney
I've done
called me and he's like, Bernsey,
I've done Booney's podcast twice already.
that's what he said.
Yeah,
And he
Brett's
goes,
a good dude. Brett's a good dude.
great dude. And he goes, yo, you wanted to get me on the pod?
Yeah.
And he said how much he loves watching us. And he's like, tell Thrill I said what's up. I really, this is a guy. Fuck, he was good, dude.
Dude, he was
Holy
a stud,
shit,
man.
man. He's one of the guys. He was hitting 35 and driving 100 every year.
Yeah, and he was doing that as like a second baseman too. I mean, it wasn't one of the the right fielder or first baseman, the guys you would think of big boppers. He was doing it as second baseman. So
yeah, it was pretty cool. So we chatted for a long time, and one of the things that he brought up, he said his kid Jacob, is in the minor leagues, and he said he's a big baseball historian, whatever. But he said he asked him a lot about when he played, and he talks about when Grandpa played, right? Then his great grandfather played, and dude,
he had all kinds of people in his family that played.
Oh, dude, it's crazy.
Yep.
And so I talked to him for probably a fucking hour, man, maybe longer. And he was saying that, he goes, I still try to convey how good Barry Bonds was.
Oh God.
And he goes, and nobody gets it. Nobody understands. And he was talking about Aaron Judge and what he's doing now in New York and how other players perceive him and everything else. And Booney's like, dude, you guys just don't fucking get it. Like, Judge is great, right? Like, good player, whatever. And, obviously Triple Crown threat and the 60 homers and everything else. He goes, no one still understands how fucking great that Barry was. And we went on and on and on. I'm not sure how much I'm allowed to kind of divulge here, but without getting too deep into it, he was saying that his grandfather was basically old school as old school gets. Yeah. And it was always Randy Johnson is nasty. Yeah, whatever. Bob Feller was the guy. So there was always an answer.
No, I get it. Yeah.
When their family's having these conversations.
Yeah.
And so they talked about Barry with his grandfather. His grandfather was scouting towards the end of his life. And finally, the grandfather, he said, barely talk at this point. Barely even fucking talk. And the grandfather writes down on a piece of paper, Barry Bonds is better than Ted Williams. And that was the end of it. That was the end of it. And then Brett's like, I knew at that point, that was it. Because it was that one last thing he had to get. He had all these arguments and discussions and everything over all the years. And that was the one last thing that he had to get off his mind.
Yeah.
And kind of let him go. I always just, dude, Booney, thank you for the conversation. That was fucking awesome, man.
Good. I'm glad you had a good time.
Oh, good.
So we got some, we always get these interesting questions and stuff like that. And I don't know why Josh threw it out there. I don't know whether he wants me to comment on it because he knows the story. But he says, ever swing at an intentional pitch walk or an intentional walk pitch? And for people that have not been on a baseball field in the audience and stuff like that, if you hold the baseball with the seams, so you hold it like that and you throw it, a lot of times the baseball, it'll just sail. Okay. And At Candlestick, if it had a scuff on it and you put the scuff on the wrong side, it'd go whoom, one of them numbers. Plus, you had wind blowing. And I, for sure, without a shadow of a doubt, on 2 different occasions was getting intentional walked. And one of them went room and came like right over the plate. One time I got a base hit up the middle. The other time I got a double in the gap.
Come on.
I swear to God, on intentional walks. And it's just, we call them new ball cutters. You just throw the ball and the ball goes,
oh yeah,
and just takes
Filthy.
off. And it winds up being like right there, right down the middle. And yeah, I know for a fact I had 2 base hits. One was a single, one was a double on intentional walks. And both of them, because it was an intentional walk, wound up being RBIs.
Dude, I would love to try to find some footage of that.
Hey,
but
here's another one for you. Because you run so good and you was so hard on the base pass and all that. Here's another one. Twice in 1 week. Brett Butler was on second base and I freaking tattooed some shit. And an outfielder has to make a run-in, like, over-the-shoulder catch and all that. Bugsy tagged up at second base and scored from second base twice in 1 week. So instead of me having 2 outs, I got 2 RBIs and sack flies.
And you had to buy him a steak dinner.
Oh, hell yeah. I did. Bugsy, you cost me 2 ABs and I got sack flies out of it plus 2 ribeye steaks. You're getting a ribeye steak, goddammit.
But the alcohol bill, I imagine, was cheap. I don't think he drank, did he?
No, he didn't drink. And on top of that, he didn't curse. He'd said frick and hot diggity dog and, shit like that. So I'd always fuck with him all the time.
He was my manager in Reno when I was rehabbing with the Diamondbacks. And you want to know something great? Fuck, man, I like that guy.
I can tell you one thing. If you have somebody that you need to teach how to bunt that has speed, got good hand-eye coordination and all that, go to Brett Butler. By far one of the best bunters I've ever seen in my life. He worked his ass off on it, and he could freaking deaden some shit and drop it right there. Every year that I played with him, he had over 20 base hits bunting, and that's when the infielders are playing in his face. And he still would drop it down perfectly. They couldn't get him out.
Well, a great outfielder, too.
Oh, hell yeah.
So when I went down, I'd first hurt my hamstring. And that one I did not rehab with Reno. It was when I broke my hand. And so this is 2009. And Bugsy was known as being a hard ass. They were the only team, the Reno Aces were the only team in all of fucking professional baseball that would take infield every fucking day, man.
Oh, hell yeah.
Every day. Yeah. And I loved it. I was good. I was all about it. So I had a routine, though, that I had to go through when it came to the hamstring, right? And whatever time stretch was, say stretch is, 4 o'clock at home. At 4 o'clock, I would go out and I'd go through the routine and this and that and do all this stuff. And so I remember Bugsy coming to me like early on as I'm doing my shit. And he's like, yo, Byrnesy. He goes, I know you got to do all your stuff. And he goes, I'd really appreciate if you stretch with the team. I'm like, fuck, man. Like, I mean, really what I'm doing is stretching and okay, sure. And then Tom Gordon, like a day later, shows up on a rehab assignment. And Tom Gordon is a fucking 20-year veteran. And whatever 10-year I had, he had fucking 20-year. So he tells Tom Gordon, hey, Tom, I'd really appreciate it if you stretch with the team. Tom's like, fuck off, man. I don't fucking stretch with the team. I'm going out to pitch 1 inning. I've been doing this shit for 25 fucking years. I'm going to So, but I still certainly did. And I understood what he was saying. Like, whatever it was, like he was very uniformed and very structured. And so he came across like really, really militant at the beginning. Well, I ended up playing, I want to say, I don't know, 10 games plus with the Reno Aces. Every single day I was there, our relationship just got better and
Yeah.
better and
Yeah.
better and better. And the reason why is because I think there was a mutual respect. Me respecting him for his work ethic and approach, and him understanding how I was going to go about my business and how I also was going to put my fucking ball sack on the line each and every
Right.
single night for him, whether I was playing in the World Series in the big leagues or playing a random Wednesday AAA game in Las Vegas.
Exactly. And here's another thing you mentioned too, and it's a great point, is taking infield and outfield. Nobody does it on the major league level anymore. They'll do it in spring training every now and then, but we do it in the minor leagues. Not every day, but at least once a homestand. And this is one of the points that I make to the kids when I go out there. I go, look, let me tell you something right now. I said, look around this ballpark right now, and this just so happened to be in Double-A Richmond this year, and it was early on May or whatever, and I told them, I said, how many scouts are in the stands? And they said like 6, 7. I go, guess what they're here to see? They're here to see you guys. They're here to see you throw, you catch, you run the bases. They're here to see all of that shit. And we're getting ready to go out here and take infield and outfield. You might want to air it out a little bit, because guess what? You might not make the major leagues with the San Francisco Giants, but you might make the major leagues on some other ball club from that scout sitting up there liking what he sees. He gets you in their organization, all of a sudden you're in the major leagues. So it behooves you guys. I'm using the shit out of that word today, by the way. It behooves you guys to get out there and freaking do your job exactly like you talked about right there. Whether it's a World Series or whether it's AAA, whether it's AA, somebody is watching you and somebody is evaluating you at all times.
I've tried to tell our Let Them Play kids that somebody's always watching every single thing you do on a baseball field. Do it with a purpose. Show me how you do anything, and I will show you how you do fucking everything.
Yeah.
If you're lollygagging it, dragging ass, feeling sorry for yourself, body language, all of it. The scouts notice. They fucking see it.
Yeah.
As far as go ahead.
No, and I was gonna, Linda brought it up just now about competing, and that's what kind of you and I are talking about. When we stepped on the field, we competed. I don't know, what was your relationship with your dad?
My dad was a 4th degree black belt in Kempo karate. He was self-made. Like, parents they wanted to go work in it was a welding factory after high school. He's like, nah, I'm going to go to college. So he basically he put himself through college, went to community college and went to San Francisco State. And then he became a professor, he does MBA. And then he started as a salesman at Acoustalite, and then, he raised a family, and it was just, he did really well. And next, he was the president of the company and whatever. But I'll summation, as quickly as I can here.
Yeah.
He was as supportive, as non-judgmental, never played baseball in his life. Like, let me do my thing, and was just
But
here. Let me
but
put my
then he did his thing, and he was like really good at it. So he liked to compete too.
Oh, fuck yeah.
Oh yeah. And so that's the thing. That's the thing that kind of Linda's getting to right here is, my dad and I, we competed in everything. My dad was a pool hustler, like I said before. You had to beat him. He wasn't going to give you shit. I was the baseball player. And he'd throw batting practice to me and try to get shit by me, and stuff like that. And then like little shit, playing fucking marbles. When you were kids, he'd try to beat your brains in playing marbles. And I think that sense of competition all the way through in high school, college, and then in pro ball, it was, and I tell you the story about Pete Rose, about, how grinding out at bats and never giving away pitches and stuff like that. I think that was easy for me to accept because of how my dad and I competed growing up. And because of that reason, that's the stuff that I try to pass on to the minor leaguers and the major leaguers, is about, hey, look, just because you got 2 strikes on you, this at bat is not finished. If you put your freaking nose up in there and you grind and you compete, you can get back in the count. You might get a pitch to handle. You might get a base hit. No. On and on and on. And here's another one. You and I have talked about it, and I've tried to tell this to some of our minor league morons who don't get it. But if you grind out 1 hit a week, that brings you from a 250 hitter to a 300 hitter. And for me, I'll grind it out whenever I'm up at the box. I'm gonna grind it out because I am getting that 1 hit a week.
Dude, this is unbelievable. They just tried to steal home against Gil, and it was fucking incredible. I mean, it was a really good job. They showed an angle where he just kind of crept from third base. I'm not exactly sure who was on third base, but he's creeping down the line. And then Gil, the Yankees pitcher, went to pick up the rosin bag. And as he went to pick up the rosin bag, he took off for home. What was even more amazing than the steal of home and the timing of it, which I thought was impeccable, like I'm not even getting mad at him, was the fact that Gil rosin bag down here like this, dropped it and fired home, and they got him out. So the question then became, I think, and the Seattle manager, I think Scott Service, was saying, yo, was there time out there? Because he was out at home.
Right.
So anyhow, I just had to bring that up real quick. I want to go back to the competition thing, Thrill, because I think there's something that you said that just, I mean, it really resonates with me. It's the ability to compete. And no matter what you do in your life, like you learn how to be a competitor. So even, I know with my father, for example, we got after it on the tennis court. And so even now with Biscuit, our biggest competitions take place on a nightly basis on the ping pong table and when we play pickleball against each other. That's
cool, man.
Hey, you gotta learn how to win. You gotta learn how to fucking lose too.
You know what? It shows you how to win, shows you how to lose. It builds competition in you. It builds confidence in you, and you get tighter with your pops, dude. I mean, hey, look, it got to a point where he's beating my brains in so bad on a pool table, but that's how he fucking made money. But hey, man, I came to appreciate that motherfucker's good, and I got to be good just to hang with him. All right, here's one for you. All right, Joel Thompson, our man from Indiana, came to the Jersey retirement. He's talking about Ann Keel with the story about throwing the ball to the backstop. You remember that one when he got the yips in the playoffs? Yeah. And Joel's like, "What did you tell him?" I go, I thought this was the best line ever, looking back on it. But, between all the F-bombs I was dropping out there, the one thing I told him was, I said, "You see that big ass screen behind home plate?" I said, "It's not a fucking pitch back when we're kids. When you throw that fucker up there, it don't come back to you, you dumbass. Throw it to the catcher."
Oh, dude,
that was my best line. I had to say that.
I felt so bad for him. I don't wish that upon anybody,
dude. And the thing was, I mean, I was out there on the mound with him, and I'm trying to calm him down. And brother, he couldn't breathe. He could not breathe. I mean, it was like, one of these numbers. I'm like, "Rick, man, you got to slow it down. You got to breathe in through your nose, in through your mouth, out through your nose, or whatever." Trying to get him to calm down. And dude, he was, and then that's why I told Tony LaRusse, I said, "You better get somebody up in a pen in a hurry. This ain't gonna last too long."
Well, you know what? I give him all the props in the world, because for him to be able to go through what he went through, and then come back as a position player, and
he came back as a position player, and then now he's a broadcaster, or was a broadcaster. I don't know if he's still doing it or not.
Bro, I got to reach back out to him, man. He played for the Bananas.
Oh yeah, that's right. You told me.
Yeah, he's one of the guys that I set up with him. He's just a really, really nice guy, man.
That's cool. Yeah. I mean, I liked Rick to death. He was a rookie, and so, after the games. Hey, Rick, give me a beer, that kind of shit. But yeah, that playoff game, ooh.
Thrill. So the Giants playing the Baltimore Orioles.
Yeah, how about that one?
You played for both of the teams.
Both of them.
I
Both
played
of
for
them.
the.
Both
I
of
played
them black and orange.
I played for the Orioles. Can you reflect upon your favorite memory in Baltimore?
Oh God. We had good teams, dude. I mean, Cal Ripken and Brady Annis and BJ Surhoff, Mike Bordick, Albert Bell, Charles Johnson. I mean, we had some studs on the team, Harold Baines, but we couldn't play as a team out there for whatever reason. And Mike Mussina was our number one starter. Scott Kamenicki was a starter. But we just couldn't put it together on the field. And so, I hate to say it, but when I got traded to St. Louis, I was like, yeah, because I went from last place to first place. So I was like, I'd rather go play for the winner. So, but my time in Baltimore was fun. I enjoyed it.
Well, I mean, of course, the favorite memory had to have been in Minnesota when you were in your underwear drinking beer with Cal Ripken.
Oh God,
playing wiffle ball out in the Metro.
God, here's one. So yeah, I mean, Cal Ripken and I are in our underwear. We're freaking. We got about 40 freaking beers out there. We're playing wiffle ball in Minnesota. The emergency lights are on out there, and we're out there hacking it up. And then he's like, "I'm not leaving." I go, "I'm not leaving too." And we literally went to bed in the training room. We never went to the hotel. Woke up the next day because we had a day game and fired it up.
Wasn't it that you guys said that you were going to drink every beer in the clubhouse?
And I think we did. There was not a fucking beer left because I remember Cal going, any more beer? I don't think so.
So it was just recently the anniversary of Cal Ripken's streak.
Oh, shit. Hell yeah.
Obviously, this is a streak that it
won't ever be broken. Will never be broken. Why? Because these people today don't play every day. They ask for days off, and if I'm not feeling good, if I got a hangnail, I'm taking myself out the lineup. It'll never be broken. And Cal, you did it the right way, big boy. Nice job.
The only way that I could possibly see it broken is if you have a once in a generation type player that goes to the organization and tells them early, I'm going to break Cal Ripken's fucking streak. I have this vision. I have this goal. So long as I am physically able to get on this field and play the game of baseball without hurting the team, I'm going to be playing. And I'm about to sign this 10-year contract or 12. I don't know how many fucking games that would be. I mean, what was it, 2000? So
yeah, it's 2,100 and something.
Is that 10, 12 straight years?
Dude. Yeah, I mean,
162.
Well, I mean, 162
by 10.
Yeah, and
is still only.
Yeah, I mean, you still got 500 more to go.
Yeah, so like 15 straight fucking years.
Yeah, so without a shadow of a doubt, it ain't gonna happen.
2162 Battleborn Mike chimes in.
Yeah.
Okay, what's more unbreakable? That record, or recently, Lawrence Butler of the Oakland A's ran a 22-game hitting streak to tie yours truly.
That is correct. I was going to bring that up.
Yeah, man. The second longest streak in Oakland A's history.
Yeah.
Pretty cool, huh?
That's awesome, man. That was great.
That's a fucking dude. It's hard. It's hard. You know how hard it is.
Dude, Trey
hit every day. It's hard.
Trey brought that up to me. It's like, hey, Dad, Mr. Eric had a 22-game hitting streak. I was like, hell yeah, Trey. That's what I'm talking about. I didn't know it, but, man, that's freaking tough. Nice job, man. Nice job.
Thanks, bro. Well,
awesome.
The circumstances surrounding the hit the circumstances surrounding the streak were interesting because Jermaine Dye got hurt. I got put into a game against Detroit, and I only got put into the game because whoever it was, there was Terry Francona goes, Pyatt, run to right field. And so Adam Pyatt, who was supposedly ahead of me on the depth chart.
Yeah, and Adam Pyatt was a Mississippi State guy. I know exactly what you're talking about.
He grabs his shit, get ready to run out on the field. And Ken Maka, the manager, who him and I honestly didn't get along great, but Ken Maka's like, Pyatt, sit down. Byrnes, get your ass out there. And it was a day game, and I know what he was thinking. We need a fucking spark. Day game after a night game, give me a little energy. Byrnes, go. I go out. I go 2 for 2, I believe, in that game. And from there, I'm like, fuck, man, maybe I bought myself another start. Next day, I'm in the lineup. Couple more hits. Next day, couple more hits. Now it's like, wait, hold on a second. If I keep getting hits, they can't fucking take me out. And so I was holding them hostage with this hitting streak that just kept going and going and going and going and going. And almost a month fucking later, we were in Miami where it ended. But what a cool thing. And to get the 22 thrill, and then to think that Joe DiMaggio did this like 3 times over.
Yeah.
Mind blowing.
So that's the thing. It's like, well, DiMaggio's streak, that's been intact for a while. Cal's isn't going to be beat. Pete Rose is not going to be beat because, we talked about Pete. You got to get 200 hits for 21 straight years, and you're still short of him.
Yeah,
that one ain't going to be broke. There's all kinds of other stats that are out there that aren't going to be broke. One of the ones, probably Ricky Henderson's probably not going to be broke because not too many people run, and they don't have the science behind Ricky running. And then there's all the catchers that are worried about their pop times and all that sort of shit.
Well, pitchers trying to prevent it more than that. I don't think it's the catchers. Like the catchers are the catchers. The slide step changed the game.
Yeah.
That's why Ricky's record will never be broken. You can make the bases as big as you fucking want. Yeah. It'll never be broken because of the slide step. And back in the day, they believed that if you were slide stepping, you were compromising your pitch. That's why no pitcher would slide step. Once they realized, like, oh, I can be quick and still pitch fine. And I also think the slide step, distracts the hitter and makes it tough to time up. So,
and then we got a great group in the chat room. Josh is like 400 average. Yeah, that ain't gonna be broke either. Big Mike said, Cy Young's 500 wins, which ain't gonna be broke. Emily, who is Trey's favorite player? I've actually asked him that like 10 times, and he says, Dad, I'm just a baseball fan. So he's into whoever he's into that day, So let's see what else.
I'm the same way though. Like
Eric had the 22 game streak, and dude, that's freaking unbelievable. I think my longest, I don't know if I had to guess, 16, 18, right up in there. But the thing about me was, all right, look, and I had a bunch of 10s and 12s, but it was like, all right, break a streak, and all right, like the next day I'm going to wear my ass out to get back on the streak again. And so you keep those, offers short. You know what I'm saying, E?
Yeah.
And then that's also how you hit 300. Is hey, look, a lot of guys are not afraid to go up there and go 0 for 4 and punch out 2 or 3 times. All right. And this goes back to what we were talking about before. If you grind some shit out, you go 1 for 3 with a walk, and then all of a sudden you're still hitting 300. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah. Thrill. The problem with you in a streak, and this is why you never hit in 30, freaking 40 straight games, because you're certainly a good enough hitter to do it. You walk too much. You have too much plate discipline.
Yeah,
you didn't swing pitches. And if you didn't get your pitch, this is like you were good spitting on it.
But here's the thing.
You have to be a little reckless.
Yeah, but you and I still had the team mentality. We had the hey, look, if it ain't there and we take our walk, man, maybe that next guy can hit a 2-run homer, or if he gets on, maybe that next guy can hit a 3-run homer. we thinking in those regards. The guys now don't look at it that way, you know.
Hey, Thrill. Wes back in here again. Your thoughts on Ohtani? He's 48 home runs now. He had his 48th homer tonight, an upper deck shot, and now has 48 stolen bases. Where would that rank for you amongst the greatest all-time single-season feats?
No, that's pretty solid. You know, I mean, Canseco, Barry, Bobby, Willie, they were all probably 40-40 guys.
I think Soriano was one of the last.
Has there been a 50-50 guy?
Nope, never.
All right. Well,
40-70, in my opinion, is still probably more impressive than the 50-50. That was Acuna last year. But I also look, the stolen bases changed. You make the fucking base bigger, you limit the pickoffs. Like it was a lot harder. It was hard to steal bases when I played. They were sidestepping motherfuckers.
Yeah, no,
right?
I get it. Yeah. I can tell you one thing. Josh knows because and Tommy Luke knows because we've talked about it. But dude, you get out there on the field, you look at freaking first base now. It looks like a fucking pizza box out there. It's like this ain't no baseball bag. It looks like a freaking something you get from Papa John's out there.
Yeah. Thrill. Yankees
and the Mariners. There's Judge. You got another RBI.
4-0 Yankees.
Yeah, and Judge has driven in 2 of the runs. So
this Wu guy's supposed to be pretty good too. How about Austin Wells, Thrill? How would you compare the mustache of Austin Wells,
his dirt stash, to the one that's on your chest?
Yeah, the dirt squirrel of the Thrill.
That's what I might do this fall. I might just out of the clear blue shoot a squirrel, and then I'll come on no filter and be having the freaking tail on my face and having the shit hang out over the sides. I'll do that for you.
Dude, we have these fucking squirrels everywhere.
Oh, I know you do.
Right now. I don't know what's going on. I was in my car the other day, and a coyote. So I freaked out a coyote apparently, and this thing turns around, and there's no way this is normal behavior. He rushes the car. He almost like fucking ran into it, like he was attacking the car.
Dude, you got animals out there that don't respect you guys. They respect us here in the South because we shoot at them.
Oh, that's a good point, man. The Bears don't give a fuck.
Hey, Wes wanted to know, and I'm going to ask you this question. Wes wanted to know about a beard. So back in the day, I had I guess you want to say spots that were missing in my beard. So I never did grow a beard. Yeah, then now if I decide to grow a beard, it's gray. So I need some Grecian formula. How is your beard?
I can't grow a beard. I'll get patch here.
Yeah.
And then the sideburns don't connect. And so I could get it. I could somewhat barely connect like goatee. I do like Wes's suggestion though of the no shave, no filter challenge.
And God.
Let's just, dude, it's called Movember. Let's bring back the fucking stash, man. We got to get this back. Well, come on.
Dude, you know what the problem I have with a stash? And you've had one your whole life and all that, but I mean, like I said, I grew it.
Really? No, I just think it's fun.
Yeah, no, I grew it. Like I said, I lost bets and shit like that. But I would always have to freaking cut it off because that shit itched the fuck out of me. Yeah. And so I was like, I'm tired of itching myself.
You're right, dude. You can actually get stuff caught in it. Sissy Small Fry Fancy Pants Strawberry Shortcake is now entered the room. My 14-year-old daughter.
Hello there, young lady. Bring her on board. Come on board.
Yeah. She says I was supposed to be done 24 minutes ago. How can I help?
Mom's got for smell of it.
Have you ordered it? Oh, so Tara's gone. Now I've been left to fend for the family.
Oh, and is Tara is she on a girly weekend?
She says I don't even know how to order food. Here, say hello, Mr. Thrill. Come here.
Hey, what's going on, girlfriend?
Should we give Thrill the special voice?
This is special voice. Say hi. Say hi. Hi. That's so good. Here. Just say hi one more time so you can hear.
Oh, hell yeah.
Hi.
Let's hear your special voice. Keep it going.
Do you want me to talk? Do you want me to talk to Mr. Thrill like this? I saw Sissy was on her way to school the other day, and when I had you guys, I was doing a test for no filter, so I called, and then she was cracking up over and over and over, and like she couldn't stop laughing on her way to school in the morning. It's my favorite thing ever.
Hey, thank God she takes after Tara and not you.
I know.
Nice job. All right, get out of your sissy voice.
So
That's back. I'm back.
Much better.
Thrill, any final thoughts before I go pick up this pizza here?
Oh, we're doing pizza because where's Tara? She's out of town with the girlfriends?
No, just so Chloe, my oldest, she's my 15-year-old, she's a sophomore. She's going to Chile tomorrow for a ski camp.
Ooh.
I know. Think about that.
Is Tara a chaperone?
No, Tara's driving her to San Francisco because they're flying out of San Francisco.
I got you.
And then we're back at it tomorrow. But anyway, any final thoughts about the show, the weekend, or the week coming up, the Giants?
You know what? The one thing that we had brought up early in the show was about Melvin, being unacceptable play and having a team meeting. The only time you have team meetings is when shit's going bad. So let's keep our fingers crossed that next year from the get-go, from the jump, we don't have a team meeting during the season because that means that'll be a good year.
Bob was really good. So I played with him, obviously, in Arizona. And he would be very strategic with his meetings, especially earlier in the year, where every single time he called a team meeting, it was on the day that Brandon Webb was pitching.
Oh, really?
Yeah. So I would probably assume that here he is. It's like deja vu. Hold on. Is Webb pitching? Yes. Perfect day for the team meeting.
Yeah, no shit.
Yeah, you have a team meeting. You don't have a team meeting. Lose, right?
Yeah, he's going to go out there and throw 1,000 sinkers and keep everybody busy.
Yeah, keep everybody busy, but you want to win. Like, if I'm going to go try to rally the troops, I don't want to have a team meeting that's like, oh, fuck, we lost.
Yeah.
Maybe I shouldn't have the meeting.
Yep. Hey, y'all got any snow up there or no?
Not yet, but it's cold as balls, man. Like, I woke up, I think it was yesterday, I'd be in the 30s. Today was a high of 50-something, so.
That's funny as all get out. Y'all are, at that, and I know what Josh and them are, and Tommy, Luke, and I are down here, and it was 91 here today. So
you're kidding?
Yeah, I swear to God, shake my head.
Look at Battleborn Mike. He says snow tomorrow.
Oh, in Reno? Wow.
No, not Reno. No, the snow will be the highest elevation. Like the snow won't even be here.
Oh, okay.
At the top of the mountain here, I'm looking at like 8,600 feet right out my back door here. So we'll probably get some snow up there. It snowed actually already. I think it was. It snowed in August for the first time in a number of years. But the weather's starting to turn. But then I was looking at it last week, I was looking at it next week. It's getting back up to 75 next week.
I got
That's
you.
a wild weather. How did you survive the hurricane? By the way,
you know what? They called it a fucking hurricane. It was a Category 1. It came on shore and it was legitimately like a regular thunderstorm. I mean, if we got maybe on the outside, I don't know about you, Tommy Luke, but we probably only got maybe 2 inches, which is a normal thunderstorm for us. So it didn't really kill us. So
how about Emily? Hello, Emily. She's new to the chat, though, huh?
Emily is Joel Thompson's wife.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, Miss Emily. So
87 in Indiana.
So I'm talking about.
She says 30 degrees in September.
No shit.
I don't know.
No
How
shit.
about Indiana, though, the football team? They went and rolled UCLA.
Oh, look at that.
Ugh.
Hey, Mississippi State lost to the freaking Toledo team and got trounced
saw that,
at home.
dude.
So I don't know what's going on with football. Yeah, one of the things I love about Reno and Tahoe and all that, Big Mike and I have talked about it, is, dude, whether I'm going from San Francisco to Reno or vice versa, Reno to San Francisco, I think it's funny as shit to go to I-80 and you'll be at, 200 feet above sea level, and then all of a sudden 2,000 feet, 4,000
Yeah.
feet, 5,000 feet, 6,000. And all of a sudden I'm at 7,000 feet on I-80, and I'm like, damn, it dropped 50 degrees. I think that's freaking hysterical. I love it.
Donner Pass, man. Yeah,
Yeah,
you go up
I love
over
it.
Donner Pass, you come
Freaking
down.
awesome. First thing I do is I roll the window down. I'm like, I love it, life.
Dude, there's nothing like when you get in the pines, man, and you roll down the window and you can smell it. Oh, it's just
So
we live up here, bro.
dude, one of the big things, and JT pointed it out, because we got the hurricanes and all that crap down here, we constantly got power outages. And so I got a big generator that runs a house. I mean, a big generator. And it is absolutely hysterical. The power will flicker and then boom, the lights will go out and you go 1,001, 1,002, 1,003. And that big basket goes, oh, like that, and cranks up, and all the lights and all that come back on. And my neighbor to my right of me over here, he's got a generator, and nobody else in the neighborhood's got a generator. Me and him were the only ones that had lights on their houses for a full day.
So that's incredible, because as soon as it goes out, it will just fire up on its own.
It takes 3 seconds, and it's called an automatic transfer switch. And all of a sudden, that big basket cranks on, and partner, shit goes poof, and you got lights everywhere.
Crazy. All right, dude. I gotta grow. I gotta.
Yeah, you got to feed the fam, dude. You got to feed the fam.
fam.
I got to make sure that my 14-year-old daughter gets fed tonight, and Biggity Biscuit. Oh,
And your voice matches your little pinky hat.
and your mustache.
That's right. And Leslie Short, if you do not change my picture on the website, I'm going to kill you. Because we don't need him making any more T-shirts, Leslie. God damn it.
This is legend. You can't stop this
Hey,
fucking thing, man.
hey,
Oh,
Linda even came on here, and even said it. You're like freaking Alvin and the Chipmunks right now.
that's what everybody says.
Well, yeah, there you go.
Alvin, Simon, Theodore. All right, dude. So I'll see you next week. Are we on?
We're on. I'm game on. Game on. So we'll rock and roll it, brother.
Great fucking show, man. Let's run it back next week.
Yeah, we'll have more shit. We'll have more shit to talk about. Don't worry.
We certainly will, but this will be the first ever send-off in my new voice. Are you ready?
I am ready, ladies and gentlemen, on behalf of the Thrill and the EB.
Fucking see ya!